Welcome to Rules of Villainy, episode 91. I'm one of your hosts, Villain Vince, joined by two of our other hosts here. We've got Villain Andy and Villainess Kirsten, are more commonly known on the socials as ROV Kirsten. How are we doing?
We're good. We trudged through the gauntlet that is eventbrite.com. Check not an ad. And we got our tickets. Competitor tickets. Someone convinced me to get a competitor ticket. They'll be here.
Both of your competitor tickets?
Yeah. Both got competitor tickets. We'll be headed to DLC Indianapolis, where we will get some hoagies at none other than Wawa.
Hashtag not an ad. But hey, I'll just say this. Wawa, if you're listening, which I know there's probably at least one Wawa person who works for Wawa that listens to us. If you know how to connect us to get a sponsorship, I will.
That'd be a dope sponsor.
I'll tattoo Wawa on my
gosh. We were planning on getting Wawa tattoos anyway. Also, we're gonna need a Mickey. We're gonna need a Mickey already. We're like 5 seconds into the episode.
Is that a Mickey? Is that a Mickeyable?
It depends if I remember that he said it.
Anyway.
Well, we're already into it. All right. Well, let's get into Underworld news. We don't have a jingle yet. We're working on it. I'm thinking through it. I already put some jingles in our show prep that Andy's been studying and listening to for the future.
That was like a Christopher Nolan
Did I miss
fight
that?
scene. Vince was like just randomly posts an audio clip, and it's like, it's
like, what? How did I miss?
Like the most
anyway,
epic.
Off topic. I'm gonna have to go back.
You have to go back. It's the only audio form in there. It's one of them, but it's a Gregorian chant.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, but it's
oh boy.
It's actually really kind of funny. But anyway, let's get into Underworld news. We've got VIP and premium tickets are coming for DLC Indianapolis, and they go on sale on April 20th. I believe you have to have our already had it ticket to get these, right? It's like an add-on. So you get a ticket, then you stand in line again. Not a fan, but it's all right. It's good. I guess it'll work. Are either you going to try to get premium or VIP tickets?
I think one of us is just going to get a premium ticket. I mean, the VIP ticket is really nice, but that's a lot of monies. And we're going to Gen Con, so like I don't need the backpack that bad.
Yeah, it would basically be just for the backpack. I know the biggest draw is the playmat situation, but we were able to collect one playmat in Richmond, and I feel pretty confident that we should be able to get the other playmat here in Indianapolis, especially since I'll probably be scrubbing out of the main event pretty quickly. And then, so, if we got the premium version, we get that one extra playmat that we don't already have, and now all of our tickets can go to maybe some fun prizing for an ROV event, or if we do really well, we get maybe an uncut sheet that look pretty cool, right there, right on the wall above Mr. Big Fish. But the VIP, it would just be for the backpack and access to the lounge. But the problem with that is there's no +1. So if I get VIP, Vince doesn't, Kirsten doesn't, half our team doesn't. What are we just gonna like all split up and be like, see you later, peasants. We're headed to the fancy people's lounge. Come out, sipping tea.
I mean, that's kind of what I did when we went to Richmond, and I had TSA pre-check, and they didn't. I was like, see you later, buddy.
See you later, suckers.
I'm going through. But anyway, yeah, I agree. I mean, I got an attendee badge, and just kind of a backup. I'm hoping to get a judge slot if I can.
Lore guide.
But lore guide. Thank you. You know what? I corrected this on the live stream too. I should know better. So shame on me. Lore guide it is. But I don't know. Honestly, I looked the backpack, which by the way, really nice backpack. The retail value of it is like $110, so you could just buy the backpack for $110. Now, granted, it doesn't have the DLC logo on it, but I feel like I could, Temu myself.
Does it say
Not
Indianapolis?
not saying that's what you should do. I don't think so. I think it just has the Disney
Challenge
challenge
logo.
logo on it. I don't think it's specific to any
That would make
particular DLC. But other than that, like, I don't really need the mats. I mean, because what I would probably do with the mats is immediately take them to a vendor and try to get the mats I don't have, like the mat from last year that I didn't get, or some convention playmat I didn't get.
Right.
That's not a bad idea.
That is probably what I would do.
Problem is, I think a lot of people are going to, I don't know how many, I know they already told us, I don't know how many VIP tickets there'll be, or even premium tickets, but there's already a decent percentage of people who go to the DLCs and often sell off their pricing, to the extent that I think some vendors, towards the later in the day, Sunday or something, is going to say, look, I'm not buying my 500th Pegasus promo from anyone,
Yeah. That's
Right.
why you do it right away. You get your
Yeah.
stuff and you beeline it right to the vendor and see what they offer you. And then if not, I can always hold. You can always hold on to it and maybe get a better bargaining deal at, say, Gen Con.
Diamond hands, and 3 years from now, they'll have gone up $10 in value. Plus, you'll probably find the backpack. People are gonna do the same thing with the entire VIP package just to get the lounge access to be with their friends and stuff. So the backpack will probably be online for, I wouldn't be surprised if it was around $100. Which, if that's how nice the backpack is, that's a bad deal.
Yeah, that my view is like, I'll be honest, I really think the premium package is great for people that can go to one DLC, right? You go to one
Yep.
DLC, you go all in, you get it, and I really hope they continue doing it. So I will absolutely buy this next year. Although I'm maybe going to Australia again, I don't know. We'll see. I'm also maybe being convinced that I should go to this Brazil challenge as well. But who knows? We'll see. TBD. Depends on how much is in my bank account. Which, by the way, I'll just say, what you could do to help us out here on the podcast is you could go to partner.tcgplayer.com/ROV and you can get all of your ROV cards that you need, all of the Lorcana cards you need. And honestly, if you play any card game, you can do that too. And it'll help us out and it doesn't cost you anything and it helps us out. Now, will I be using that for my personal funds to go to this trip? Absolutely not, but we do use it for future events and it does help support the podcast and things that we want to do with it.
Rules of Villainy does support. We will help support Vince when he goes on this international travel. We will buy him one alcoholic drink on the plane ride there, and one bag of pretzels on the plane ride back. Upgradable to a alcoholic drink if you make day 2.
Make day 2. I'll need to practice more than I did for Melbourne. That would be the big thing. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next news item here. Reveal season is kicking off. We are getting so close to Wilds Unknown, and it'll kick off on the Lorecast April 15th. So this coming Thursday, not this coming Thursday, because that's tomorrow.
Less than a week.
You're hearing this 3 days from now because of time travel, I guess is the best way to put that. And so it will be your next Thursday, which is the 14th. And reveal season will start. Are you excited?
It's gonna be
I'm
fun.
so excited.
I think we got at least some ideas. Yeah, as Andy is making this claw.
Yeah, did you see the sleeves in Japan?
I know.
Screw Brazil. You should just take a trip to Japan and buy us some product. Thanks.
I know. And also they're gonna have pre-con decks with a legendary. with a
Yeah.
legendary in it. Woo!
Yep.
Japan got it good. I may actually have to.
I want
import,
those claw sleeves.
I might also have to move to Japan. Grieving.
But yeah, so pretty exciting stuff. I'm excited. And we'll see how that goes. And then you want to take this next news item here, Andy?
Sure. We concluded last weekend. We had a successful live stream at the Impact Gaming Center Set Champ Triple Case Tournament for the Tinkerbell playmat. Congratulations, Tom Casey, for winning with his dogs deck. We saw it at least once, maybe twice on stream there. Definitely worth going back and taking a look. Check out the local sets report, which was I hear they have a awesome new host on that show. But we go over the top 8 decks at that tournament. And again, huge thank you to Brando, Heath, and Vince for all casting with me, and putting up with all of our production kerfluffles. Thanks everyone at home who watched. We'll be doing more of these for sure.
Absolutely. You know what's really great, Andy, is we currently right now have the special guest host of the meta report on it. So I'm tuning in now live here. Andy, how is it? How was being the special guest host of the
What's up, guys? It's me, your boy, Andy, aka assistant to
Not
the
the
mayor
mayor.
of Lorcana.
to the mayor? It was definitely kind of funny. Kirsten, you want to read this last one here?
Congrats to Mr. and Mrs. Mayor, because they're getting married. When you're
Dun,
listening, they'll be getting
dun.
married tomorrow.
Or maybe
How
today,
exciting.
depending on when you're listening, or maybe
Or that's
yesterday,
true.
or 2 days ago.
Or years ago. Who knows? They
Oh,
could.
who knows? But yeah, like that's a thing that's happening. So that's why I'm here and why I'll probably be here next week and until he decides to come back from doing married stuff, So that'll be super exciting and make sure you join our Discord to congratulate the Mr. and Mrs. Mayor.
Absolutely. And also, he will, of course, this will be on all the screens at the reception that they have. So
Obviously.
it'll just be Rules of Villainy constantly. So we'll put that promo code up again here on the screen just so that we can get a new one. I kid, I'm teasing. Or am I? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
when he
let's
goes
move on.
around to the table and he shakes everyone's hand and says, "Hi, thanks for coming to the wedding," you should make sure they subscribe. You should tell him to do that.
That
Really
honestly
appreciate
should
subscribe
have
to
been
my
on
YouTube
his registry. That should have
Yeah,
been
it's on his registry.
to
Subscribe
the
to my YouTube.
I'm sure
Uh,
Emily would have loved all of that.
And subscribe to her TikTok as well.
I'm fine subscribing to her too.
That's fair.
Fine.
Anyway.
If you didn't know what we're saying too, so I think actually Brad has his own social, like trying to build his own social with the mayor stuff up. But
On
also
Twitter,
yeah,
yes.
on Twitter, but also on TikTok is his. Well, I think now probably by the time you're listening to this, our wife is on there and does Disney Lorcana pin trading. I cannot off the top of my Kirsten, do you know her handle off the top of your head? I don't, unfortunately.
Woman of the Mouse.
Yes.
Woman of the Mouse. That's it. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Look at you. Look at
She's
this.
been on the podcast twice now. Both of our Christmas episodes. She's makes a guest appearance. So
fan favorite.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But if you're really interested in pins and pin trading, I go follow that. We'll put a link in the show notes down below. But with that, while the mayor's out, we do have Constituents Corner. And I assume, since you're the assistant to the mayor, Andy, you should read this first question.
Yeah, that's fair. Repo Man in our Discord says, with rotation coming in a few months, are there any cards or strategies you haven't tried yet that you want to try or might consider before they're gone from core? For me, I really want to seriously run the Floodborn Hey, as it seems like a lot of fun. Could be a fresh take on ramping without the need for Tipo, Sail, Cindy. So I've got a quick answer for part of this. One, we saw your list of the Hey Hey build. It's pretty cool. I've seen, forget who it was. It might have been Inkswell or his son Link, who was experimenting with a Hey Hey deck where you basically ink your entire hand with Hey Hey and then just hope to top deck really good, awesome, high cost cards for the rest of the game. Not my favorite strategy when I'm playing, when I prefer to draw cards, but um, good answer. I'd love to hear how it goes. You always seem to do really well with those interesting lists. For me, I don't really have any. I think all of the cards live on forever in infamy, in infinity, and beyond that. And so, uh, when core rotates out, if I really want to play with a card, I'll be able to play with it infinity or potentially other future formats. So, there's not too much I've missed. I'm just really excited for everything new to come in core. Frankly, it's like I out with this old. Let's get some new stuff.
I think my answer here is very similar to yours in that I don't really, my generally like I'm playing and then the new set comes out. And so I'm focused on the next core set. And so I don't spend a lot of time on these, creating like fun decks necessarily. It's like I kind of wish there were more like brooms so I could maybe update my Infinity-esque brooms deck. That would be fun. But other than that, like I mean, there's not really anything that comes to mind in particular. And really, when I think of fun, I really like. My friends have built a cube deck for Lorcana, and we draft it, and that's fun because we're always playing. It's just one copy of like basically all the cards in the game are in it, and we just play it, and that's a lot of fun because you never know really what's going to happen. So it's like Infinity, but with one card, and that's my casual way of playing it. But otherwise, I'm mostly focused on trying to play the core constructed decks that are relevant in the game. And I think that's just partly because of the nature of us going to leagues and then also having to be able to commentate because we want to do commentary on it. And also going to like competitive events, whether they're the DLCs and stuff. And so, I don't think Andy and I in particular, and probably not even you, Kirsten, but I don't want to speak for you, are not really the like tabletop players necessarily that are playing like the fun decks we're thinking about. We're really just trying to get better at the construct. But
Oh,
Pretty much.
words in your mouth. Yeah.
I like fun
Yeah,
decks.
like it's not that I don't like fun decks,
Don't
but I
have it.
have to have a reason to play fun decks. Like, for example, recently, not too long ago at game night, we did the theme deck, the franchise night. And that was an excuse and a reason to build a non-meta deck, which is fun and I enjoy doing and I had a lot of fun and I would do it again. But am I going to do that in my off time when I don't have a reason to? No. If I'm gonna sit down and play, it's going to be playing more with the meta deck so I can get better for these competitive events that like actually not that actually matter, but like they kind of matter to me in our current state and having the competitive team and trying to you know get up there at the top tables.
And to be fair, I will say, I mean, I've played fun decks. Vince has played. You talked about his broom deck. Even you, Kirsten, will play these less than meta decks. But it's like Vince said, there's not usually a lot of time where you have the opportunity to explore those things. Um, and so, like, you played that Hero Hamada shift me
Oh,
maybe one moo time. Um,
yeah. See, but like those
but
types, I'm still trying to play them competitively. Yes, they are a more fun deck, but it's
right,
situational because like once I win a set champs and I get the mat,
and
cool,
there it
great.
is.
I don't have to try anymore and I can just have fun, which
Yep.
I'm completely fine with because at that point I'm like, okay, we can chill out. we just have some fun, not have to take it super serious, and just kind of take a breather, a break, because I just like to play anyway. So I don't always have to try for first if I, succeed in my other events.
I mean, try to give a more serious answer here though, but I think it really is time depending. And honestly, it seems like his stock is going up in Infinity. Is that I would like to revisit a deck I had built, I think at the end of Fabled, which was the Oswald items deck. And that was actually a lot of fun. It wasn't very good overall, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing it. But I haven't touched it in probably 6 months now, maybe. And unfortunately, Oswald's a card that is going to get rotated out of the format in a few months. So that's kind of a bummer. But it's kind of a bummer. He really never had a chance to in Core Constructed.
Oh, yeah, he did a little bit at the time.
Yeah, he was always really easy to remove with cards like Storm
Yeah.
and Cindy being in the meta. And then once Storm and Cindy left the meta, he probably had a small window of opportunity, but aggro became really,
And items basically went out the door.
yeah, because aggro was a little too fast, with things like Amber Steel. And now with cards like Angel,
they also reprinted like Fire the Cannon too. So
yeah. But even when Baboom, Fire the Cannons stuff aren't necessarily played, cards like Angel definitely are played, and even Elsa. Although Elsa's kind of late, but yeah, it's really
Cheshire.
rough. Big
Yeah.
Tammy's gone as well. Tammy rotating out is tough.
Yeah. But
For sure.
Let's go on to the next question here by Jackalope Spam. After the season is complete, we will have seen at least 2 Infinity DLCs, maybe more at Worlds. Should they take the top meta cards from those decks and simply ban them from Infinity going forward? I've done it in other games. It can create a fun ongoing meta, keeps it fresh. No, I don't think they'll do that. I don't think that's a good idea per se, just because one is just they're really, I can't stress how new Infinity still is to Lorcana and how limited the card pool really still is, even though for us, especially as your first TCG, it feels like there's a lot of cards, but there really aren't when you think about some of these other long-term card games that have these more expansive formats. And Infinity is really nowhere close to yet some of those even more restrictive formats that say like Magic has, which is the game that I think most people compare Lorcana to in a lot of respects in that way. And so I just don't think that's the right approach. Partly because just because something is good in these DLCs for Infinity doesn't necessarily mean they'll be good going forward as new cards get added to the pool that can change the dynamic of the meta. We see that happen in Core Constructed. Very likely that's going to happen in Infinity. And also, I think Ravensburger wants to take it one card at a time. I know we've said this, Andy and I were a little critical about them just banning Hiram and not banning, I think, more cards, which, I still think is a mistake, but I think you can also overcorrect and go too far and take too many tools out of the box. And ultimately, then you're creating a whole new game. Now, with that being said, I think there is a point in time where Infinity will be a format that rests alongside many other formats in Lorcana. There are a lot of formats in, say, Magic. And they've already kind of teed it up. They've never released and said it, but it seems only reasonable that at some point we'll get a Beyond, right? Infinity and Beyond. And so Infinity will probably also have its own set of limited cards and its own ban list. And then there will be a Beyond format that will have its own, maybe it's everything and nothing's ever banned, or maybe they do ban things in a Beyond. Who knows what happens, but I think we're a ways away from that. and I think we should give. And I consider myself in this a little bit too. Is like we should give Ravensburger a lot of leeway on how Infinity plays out. And while, like I said, I am still a little critical about it, I'm willing to be proven wrong. That something like Prince John shouldn't be banned. Like there's a good reason for him to stay. But we'll see. Anyway, that was my answer. What take do you got there, Kirsten?
Yeah, I don't really have a great take on this because no other experience in card games. So like I I don't have any experience in any other formats of any other games. I think Infinity's fine. Like banning Hiram fine. I thought they were gonna ban more than just Hiram, so that was kind of a surprise, but like I also definitely like agree with the take of I'm just gonna see what happens. Ravensburger knows what they're doing, right? Like, I don't know anything about banning cards and deciding what works in game development and, making sure that the playing field is even. And I'm definitely in agreement on like, we still have 2 more sets to go before rotation. So, like, who knows what that's gonna be? It's the wilds unknown.
Andy?
All right. Well, I am not a TCG game dev, but stayed at a Holiday Inn the other day. So, Vince got that.
I think that's
No, I think that's a really bad idea to just ban the best cards from these tournaments. If you think about, I'm sure other TCGs have done it, but if you think about any other game, video games, think about uh, actual sports competitions and stuff. If you do the best, do they just ban you? I mean, like maybe there's some offshoots where they're like, okay, well these shoes were too good in running, so they're banned, or this, you know, you're not allowed to put this type of sticky stuff on your hand when you're playing baseball or whatever it is. So, there's some small, instances of that, but for the most part, you don't just ban best thing because it won and is like, oh, this is balanced, right? Um, the tricky part about a printed TCG is that the only real way to balance now not just one but two formats in Infinity and Core, and potentially, like Vince said, beyond to other formats, the only way to balance this, or the prime way to balance this, is to basically add more on. You have to print cards that, so adding another card, probably consider this like a buff, right? It's an addition to the game. Like it's something that makes something better. But you can make a card that makes another card worse, right? Doesn't have to just be banished chosen Ka character, which I really think someone thought Taka was going to be a little too strong, and so they they prepared this ban chosen Taka character Moana card. But it's very, very hard to take anything off. So it's this scale, right? It's not a two-way scale. It's like a 10-way scale, and they are balancing it ever so slightly between them. And it is a really hard job to do. And errataing a card is bad. Banning a card is bad. They've banned Hiram to the Shadow Realm now, right? So like he's not legal anywhere, you know? So, like Vince said, is a new format's coming beyond where how many cards are we going to ban to the Shadow Realm before it warrants having its own format? Right?
Just to be clear, I don't think Hiram is banned to the Shadow Realm. I think
think
he's banned to the Utilidor. That's where he's at. He's in the Utilidor, probably in one of the closets.
He's gone to Disney jail. But it's I definitely think whether they support a Beyond type format or not, if they ban enough cards from Infinity, people on their own in grassroots will make a new format. I think we're looking at though like 50 or 100 cards. If 5 cards get banned, it's going to be a small group of people who are like, I would rather play with these 5 cards enabled and not a slightly smaller pool, right? But it's please don't
I
just
think
ban the best cards these couple
yeah, I also just think it's in some ways hard to determine though. Like how do you quantify what the best cards are and then ban them, right? I mean, because arguably you could say, like, if we ban some of the best cards, quote unquote, that we've seen on screen in DLCs, Tipo would be on that list.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know that I would consider, like, Tipo's a good card. I don't think he's like the best card in the game. And is he ban worthy?
Well, and if you think about it, without Sale, Tipo is probably not as good. And without Tipo, Sale is not as great, right? Would you play Blurple if you only had 4 out of 60 cards that will allow you to ramp on turn 2? Would you
You'd
play
probably
Blurple with just 1 jump?
you'd probably add would be
Yeah, but even with 1 jump, would you play it still? It's not as good. I think
singable. So you would just, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. But anyway, let's move on to the last question here. Kirsten, you want to take this question?
Yeah, it is from our friend Lucas. His question for the week is, what is an idea you've had for an Infinity deck that you haven't quite figured out how to pull off successfully yet?
What's your thoughts?
I don't have an answer for that because I don't know. I don't have my own unique ideas. I see deck, I play deck. I'm just kidding. I do have my my own like thoughts sometimes, but for the most part, like especially when it comes to Infinity, like I know what I liked to play before rotation. So I immediately go back to that and I say I want to play my Enchanteds, and then I end up with Steel Song and I'm happy.
Andy?
like all of them, right? Like I don't I'm like Kirsten, I don't really have any I haven't put any thought really into Infinity. For me, um don't see the value in spending the time and effort to start theory crafting Infinity right now, only to have 200 and some odd cards come out next set that it will potentially dramatically impact all of the testing that I've done, right? Imagine spending now until Wilds comes out and you like solve the Infinity meta. You're like guaranteed this is the best. I have all the top AIs working on this. This is the best deck. And then they print a card that's just like, band goes to Hiram, right? Like it just what's gonna happen? All your theory fell apart and you spent all that time doing nothing. So I haven't really tested any of them. So I don't have any ideas for Infinity, and I haven't been able to figure out how to pull any of them off. Played Sapphire Steel items to a top 4 once a couple weeks ago. It's kind of all blur. Kind of, showed up and did it.
Merge
It was fun.
together.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I did not get a competitor badge. I got an attendee badge, and obviously, like, I am trying to judge, but
Lord guide.
lore guide, thank you. It's rough out here. I'm never gonna get that lore guide job now. Is it's not that I dislike Infinity. I think Infinity's a great format. I'm glad we've got it. But I really, I spent a lot of money and I go to events where everybody plays core constructed. And like you could argue that like we'll have more Infinity stuff out there, but I think the format's still a little too young, to be honest with you, and also a little too unsupported at the store level for it to be something that I'm like super excited about. I mean, with that said, like I talked about it, like I really like Brooms. I think Brooms is a fun deck. Do I think that's the deck I would take if I was going to a competitive Affinity event? No, I don't, because I don't think it's very good. Because we haven't gotten a Broom card like since set 4 or something like that. Like something crazy. It's been a long time since we've gotten anything that really helps that deck out. I think probably the only card, maybe the Mickey Food Fight card is in there, I think. I don't even know. It's like the deck's sitting with the resist is in there, and I think that came out in Shimmering Skies, so maybe set 5 card is in there.
Mickey.
But the other deck that I just talked about earlier is the Sapphire Emerald items card with the Oswald. Like that was a deck that I was always really kind of trying to make work, and I don't think the pieces are quite there yet either. But maybe they will be. I think it's all an unknown, and I would what I would really love to see is an items deck be successful again, and I think items are really hard in Infinity when you've banned like stuff. Like really, the Sapphire Ruby deck was really the one kind of items deck that was possible, and I think you really do that. The other thing I would love to see too is like a locations like heavy deck, but again, like I just don't think we have a lot of good locations. There aren't, I think you need something, like a location where if you move a character here, like if you challenge that location, you do take damage, but you take damage from like the character, that's there or whatever, or something. Like there's some mechanic that makes it less free, quote unquote, to challenge a location. Like I think there needs to be some balance in the locations. Just because I played a few decks in Set Champs where people will cheat out locations. There was a deck you saw me play at, I think it was one of the Set Champs at Fortuna, stuff where I was like, it's like just location after location, and you're trying to maneuver your way around it. And what was interesting about that is that I wasn't expecting it, right? It was like out of the blue. And so you were like, oh, okay, well, now I got to kind of figure out how I'm going to navigate this situation. But those are decks that just don't see, I don't think a location deck is ever going to be popular in core. I think that's we just don't get enough locations. We don't get enough synergy with them. You might throw a location. And so I think items are also hard to do in core constructed. Got to get a lot of items, and then you got to, get the synergies with those items. So that's really, really hard. But an Infinity is a great place where those decks, I think, can live and breathe and have support. But, we've just banned the one card that I think makes items decks possible in Infinity. And 2, we don't have a lot of locations to make like a location heavy deck really strong and powerful. Are they fun? Absolutely. And if that's what you're doing and you want to go do and have fun, more power to you. Honestly, a lot of these questions here, I really wish Brad was here because he's our real fun player. He likes to have fun. He likes, find the fun decks that are out there, that are still, competitive-ish, but maybe not at the highest level of competitive.
I don't know. Brad's been playing the same deck all set. I've been
Which deck?
experimenting with Ducktectives. I did Boosties, and then all the normal ones. But
yeah. Anyway, well, those are our questions. If you want to ask us questions, which we really encourage you to do, because we're always begging you, like the meme, that it's now time to give us questions every week, go to our Discord, go to Constituents Corner, ask your questions. We will answer them. Or, better yet, comment on this video. Crazy. YouTube algorithm works in miraculous ways, and somehow, for some reason, if you do 3 things, it boosts this video to a whole bunch of people. 1, real easy, just hit that like button. You hit it. 2, you hit the subscribe button. That's also great. Fantastic. We love having more. And 3, you comment on the video. And if you comment and you ask a question, we'll definitely 100% answer your question on the podcast, as long as it's appropriate for the podcast. I just have a caveat there. And then fourth, which I know, a bonus thing, 4, can hit the bell icon and be notified everything we do, which is pretty cool, I think. With that, we're going to get into our main segment here. And we're going to talk about set champs. Andy, you wanna get us kicked off here?
Yeah, you think you think Pizza Planet, the location, will be like a 3-cost amethyst location with 8 willpower and 1 to move there, and whenever you move a character here, draw a card. Pizza Planet Arcade. That's the subtext.
That's
Arcade.
so on topic for set champs.
I feel like that would be that card would be like
Good.
ban all toys.
Ban all
No,
toys.
abandon all toys.
Abandon. You gotta draw a card at the Pizza Planet Arcade.
No, that would be the claw.
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 Claw machine.
A claw.
I feel like the claw.
I
which
have been
isn't-
chosen.
Yeah, I feel like that's a ripe mechanic for the first introduction of well, what do they call those? The cards that you like. I think they're called tokens. Like
Token.
the cards you create
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like you could create like a 1/1
Alien token.
alien token.
Yeah. Then Mirabelle would finally have her day.
Right before she's rotated out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. But hey,
That's
I
how
mean,
it works though, man.
all right.
Better
But yeah. But yeah, set champs. I have not played in any of them. So there's that. Kirsten is the only one of us 3 that has played in a set champs. There's only been one set champs,
Yeah.
I believe, in St. Louis. 2 was there one? No, there was just the one.
Just the one.
So really what we're going to do here for this segment is we're going to go ahead and pause and go ahead and check out that live stream. The VOD is up now. Go ahead and watch all like 8 or 9 hours of it and then come back here. All right, welcome back. So that's basically set champ. Everything you need to know. Moving on to villain of the week.
I want to actually dig in here. So, tell us a little bit about what you played. So you played, Kirsten, you played Amber Steel, right?
Yeah.
And it was who's that? It was built basically Diego's
Or
deck.
Habibis. Whoever you like. I mean, I don't care who you ask. Like, if you see it on Twitter, I'm not in that beef, but Habibi/Diego. Apparently, Habibi made the deck and Diego played it DLC, and now everybody thinks Diego made it, but apparently Habibi made it.
I thought of it before Habibi did. Like, you know, I just didn't write it down.
Actually, I'll have you know, you know this. Like, I had that built from before. We ended up finding that deck after I saw Sky's deck. We ended up finding an older deck that I built at the very beginning of the set that was incredibly similar to it. Like, it had the Goliaths, it had the Chief Pow Pows, it had the Angel Underdog. I don't remember what else, but it was pretty close. So maybe I made that deck and I just didn't know it. I'm
Here
joking.
you go. This is what I'm
I
saying.
probably took it from somebody else online.
Yeah, I think there's some overlap, right, between deck builders and deck, players, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I think the strength is knowing a deck and that you play. I don't necessarily think you have to be the best deck builder out there to be a Lorcana player.
Yeah.
But so what matchups did you have? What was your matchups?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't remember. I do remember, but let me double check. I know my first and my second round matches were mirrors, actually.
Yep.
So that was pretty fun. I didn't have any practice into the mirror, and I was like, oh boy, let's see how this goes. But I also was on the draw both games, and I got it 2-0, and I think that is solely because I got the nuts opening with like Angel and Akood've with probably a follow-up of a big Angel or a Rhino, and I just had like a massive lead each game.
And then I think did round 3 or is it round 4 that you ID'd? Round 4.
I ID'd round 4, so round 3 I actually played Amethyst Steel, but not like your normal Amethyst Steel. It was basically that burn deck from DLC. Was it a DLC or was it a CCQ?
It was
I think it was
DLC.
a CC. It was a DLC.
Wasn't it in Melbourne? The Amethyst
No,
Steel Burn
I guess. I don't remember
with the
now.
Zootopia?
Yes.
Wasn't that Melbourne,
I
Vince?
think that was.
Wow, it was that long ago already. Wow. Okay, yeah. But it was that with like the burn and the locations and just trying to go super fast. And again, was I on the draw? No, I was on the play that time. But just like always found what I needed. And I was able to like hold off the lore gain at least a little bit to flood my board and keep up.
So now we're going to round 5. You are 301.
Yep. Uh, and I should have just ID'd probably this round, and that's what I thought we were going to do because pretty much like the top tables of the 4 of us were trying to decide if we ID or not that last round. And I thought we were all going to play it out because I don't remember why. I don't do the math. I don't do the ID math. I do what other people tell me to because I'm like, I don't know. You tell me.
There was
How
an,
does the math?
it was because there was an unintentional draw earlier in
Oh
the
yeah,
tournament.
there was an
So the
unintentional
3 and
draw.
1s, the X1s, if they ID'd that round, there was a possibility if they all ID'd that round, because your X1 that you got paired into didn't and ended up
Mhm.
playing, but the other did. And if if everyone had, and then the other X1 with the ID won their match, then you could have gotten bubbled out.
Yeah. So
So
that's why
now-
I thought we were going to just play. So I sat down and played my round, but the other 2 ended up drawing anyway. They ended up IDing instead. So I played out my match. It was against Blurple, which I knew was probably not my best match. And I got O2'd real bad on stream. I had like really awkward hands. I probably made a couple of mistakes. And then I kind of forgot that Wasabi gives you lore when you banish an item, and then I lost that first game.
Can't really play around that one wasabi
Mm-mm.
though. One lore from a wasabi. Wild.
No.
no, I think but you don't have any items in your team.
No. No.
So I will just say one of the things I think you should be aware with the wasabi, and I talked about this on stream, and not so much your deck, but is if you're playing items, you have to be careful about putting items out that are valuable to you, and then getting them. Primarily the book is like you could see person play a book, and it's like they're playing wasabi.
Yeah.
You should absolutely 100%, I think, make sure you can pop that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to leave
Yeah,
items hanging around.
real bad
Eh,
for the wasabi.
usually
On
it's a
board.
1 or a 2 of, right? I think Jared was playing a 2 of, which was
playing-
unusual. But I don't know if I'm
Well, I
playing.
don't think the 2 of is actually as unusual now, given how common the dog stack is with the chroma.
Fair.
Yeah, I
I think the Chromacon is the real reason why anybody is running item removal in.
yeah.
in-
That's the
So-
only must remove item.
yeah.
Mhm.
100%.
I don't know. I feel like if I'm playing Blurple, I play a book and I've got a Demona coming up like next turn, so I just want to leave the book there for after the Demona, and then you wasabi my book. I get a lure, and then I play Demona and I draw cards anyway. I'm not too mad, right?
Yeah, I guess it's situational though on how you play the Demona outright though, because like sometimes like you want that leverage to play the Demona out. So you're drawing 3 cards and they're hopefully not drawing any additional cards to stall their board out. Because, I mean, depending on where you are in ink, if you're playing that Demona out, you have no further resources to build your board up, right? And we always talk about cards in hand. I think sometimes you can run out of gas. Like honestly, a lot of times I feel as a Blurple player, the worst enemy to Blurple is your own deck, because it can, like, don't get me wrong, like obviously it has bad matchups, and I think if even you play those matchups perfectly, you can still lose. And I primarily am talking about like the Baja deck in particular, being a deck that I think is very, very difficult for the Purple player to win. But I think about like missing ramp on turn 2 in Blurp is a real nightmare, because the real problem is one, now you're a turn behind. You don't really have any strong 3-drop character to play
Cheshire.
out. Yeah,
Is
but
your
you
only
don't
one.
play Cheshire on
Well,
3. That's
even
such a like
even DKP has said that having Cheshire makes missing turn 2 ramp not as bad, because you still have a curve out play on 3.
Right.
Before it was just into the unknown, and like
yeah.
that is basically worthless on turn 3 on curve.
Sure. I mean, I see that point. I'm just saying, like, because the problem though is now ultimately really every turn turn 3 and onward. I mean, that's assuming, right, you get the Cheshire, because that's one of 4 cards in your deck. Potentially 3 if you're not running a 4 of.
Right.
You know, and so you miss it, but now every other card becomes significantly more awkward for you. Like your hands just get really awkward. You know, I mean, at a certain point it kind of balances out, but you already just feel a little bit off tilt. And then I think the other thing that can really hurt you in Blurple is that you can run out of gas, which is why like something like that book, you know, and putting it out and having it, you know, high wasabied away can feel bad. Because I mean, I think about this, like in the last set champs, both Kirsten and I played a mirror match, and like I think game 1, like one of what basically 2 of the matches weren't even close. Like we were both kind of fully in control. And that third game and stuff, it's like I was in control, and then Kirsten found every piece she had, and then every top deck I had was like
A Tipo.
a Tipo, a Basil, like a Royal Guard. You know, it was like just every like 1-drop card that
Yeah, your weakest card.
possibly get was right at the top of your deck. And so it's like, you know, that deck can really just be your worst in some ways.
To be fair,
Really value them.
a lot of decks can be your worst enemy sometimes. Like Baja is super
Super
bad
breaky.
about it because of all their uninkables that they usually play. I mean, there are versions where they don't run a lot of uninkables, but even then, like, you get stuck with all high cost characters, and same thing, no ink, and then you're just kind of, or no ramp, and then you're just kind of screwed. Or my deck, when you get 3 Akood'ves and like a Zeus and a Dock, and you can't do nothing for like 2 turns on stream in the finals.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think Blurple is the reason it's good is because it has it has the ability to never run out of gas. In my opinion, when you play Blurple, you always want to prioritize card draw, and the only time you aren't drawing cards is when you uh, are busy dealing with, you know, their board essentially. Whereas decks like Baja and sometimes Amber Ruby, or even, I guess not necessarily like Steel Song as much, but certainly in Dogs, where you have to dig for that specific piece of the puzzle that, you know, removes your opponent, you know, Baja, they're looking for that Under the Sea or that MMS, you know, Prince Philip combo. Blurple is looking for Into the Unknown, Let It Go, Hades, the other Hades, Elsa, you know, that baby, we got lots of options here. You know, you don't have to be digging around. Just keep drawing cards and
Cheshire.
you'll move past those. You know, there's only at most like what, 8, 12 bad cards like that you don't want. Your 4/1 drop, your 8/1 drops, your 4 T-Pos. Sale's not a
They're not
problem to grab
they're not
later.
bad. They're just not ideal
Right,
at
right. But there's
the end of
but
the game, right? They're not like that's
right.
when you don't want those cards. You want those cards early, or
And
you want the cards to be able to ink like a mid game, like turn
right.
3 Basil. Heck yeah, I'm gonna ink
Right.
that. I'm gonna play my genie. Um. Well, so getting back, so you played Blurple round 5,
Yes.
round 6.
Round 6 was
Top cut.
top 8,
Top cut. So this is
and I
quarter.
had to play Blurple again. Our good friend Britt from the Snuggly Duckling, and it was just one of those situations where my deck started to deck again, and I was getting really good cards, and I was just able to super flood the board, so I was able to 2-0 her. But I mean, top 8 did split the pricing, the pack pricing, because they did basically 2 cases for top 8. So I got 30 packs. We all split and got like 30 packs, so that was fun. So it didn't really matter as long as I could keep going into the finals. And I only made it to top 4, and then I lost horribly on stream to dogs. The deck that my deck is literally built to beat. I got my butt whooped.
Yep.
That
It happens.
was
Dogs won
tough.
though. So like
That
you lost to the winner.
Yeah, I lost to the winner,
did lose
which
to
is
the winner.
fine.
Third
It's
place.
fine.
Pretty good.
Didn't you get an enchanted out of your box?
No.
No.
Oh no.
We got a couple extra legendary to make up for the fact that we only got 1 epic and no enchanted. But yeah, it was good packs.
Yeah, they were fine. It was fine. It was okay. I'm not mad.
I
I was just happy to do well because I mean it was a pretty big set champs. There was 30 people, so now this is like 2 big quote unquote big events in a row that like I've made top 4. So we're rocking and rolling, baby.
I love it. I did want to talk about the meta from this set because Brad,
Yeah.
the mayor, before he left for to get married.
Go get Mayor-ied.
Mayor-ied. That's a good one. He did
You're
transcribe
welcome.
all the decks onto ink decks, so we'll have that link in the description below. But ink decks here did the breakdown. We saw there were only 4 dogs decks the whole tournament. 10 Blurple. Blurple had 33% of the meta share. 5 Amber Steel, 4 Amethyst Steel, 3 Ruby Amber, and 1 each of Baja, Sapphire Steel, Amber, Amethyst, and Amethyst Emerald. And then our top 8 was made up of entirely Dogs, Blurple, and Amber Steel, with each of them converting about 1.5 times their meta share.
So how many dog decks did we have in 8?
We had 20
2?
some odd percent. 2, yeah, top 8. It was 2 in the top 8, 4 Blurple, 2 Amber Steel. So Blurple, big showing. Only a 48% win rate on the 10 Blurple in attendance, but it was good enough to get half of or a little under half of them into the top cut, making up half of the actual top cut. Only 4 dogs, but 2 of them did darn good, made that top cut. Same with Amber Steel, a couple of them, only 5 and 2 making it in there. Interesting to note, not a single Amethyst Steel in the top cut. 4 of them there on the event, and they had a 50% win rate on day. I guess
No
Blurple.
Baja, right? No Baja in the top 8?
One Baja, yeah, no top 8 cut. They had a 40% win rate. They were not having a great day. The Amber Amethyst player had a 60% win rate, so they did pretty decent. I'm not sure what exactly happened in their run that caused them to miss top cut. But some things happen. Maybe there's an unintentional draw or something like that. The mayor was in the tournament. I think he was 10th place.
Yeah.
So just barely missed cut. But yeah, it was an interesting interesting meta. I was actually really surprised to see as much Blurple as there was. And
Mhm.
it is still a really strong deck. I think it does well into Steel Song. It does well into Amethyst Steel. It can do okay into Dogs. The one big problem I see, obviously we didn't see it in this tournament, but um, Blurple is like the deck that a lot of these other decks were built off, right? Amethyst Amber is a deck that just feasts on Blurple. It is designed to beat Blurple with Horseman Strike, with all of these draw tools, with the board wipe, right? So it's able to keep up with Blurple and is able to board wipe and has all the same Amethyst threats with Cheshire and Elsa. Boosties, Amber Ruby Boosties goes great into Blurple. It has Horseman for Elsa and Genie. It has the Horseman Strikes. It has the board wipes. Um, you know, great. Baja, as Vince already said, Blurple's worst nightmare. Like I don't understand how that deck has. Blurple has to have like a 0.2% win rate into Baja. It is incredibly difficult to beat, in my opinion. All of these decks are like kind of, built to take out Blurple because Blurple is somewhat perceived as like the strongest deck.
Mhm.
So it is interesting to see that people are still playing it, that maybe these other decks weren't able to scare it away enough because their matchups into everything else great.
Yeah. I think part of that though is that I think Blurple just hasn't aside from we talk about with that Baja matchup, they're really uh, even if there are some like worse matchups, they're not like they don't feel like they're auto loss, right?
Certainly.
And so I think as a result of that, like you can go in, feel very confident in your style that I'm playing what I'm most comfortable with, that I feel really good with, and go in and play. And if you go up against and play somebody that's maybe net deck a amber steel deck, maybe it's like you can outplay them. Well, I mean that's a pretty favorable matchup for Flurple anyway. I think for a lot of respects, but what I'm getting at is like I think you can some of these newer decks that come in, those players may not have as much experience with them,
Fair.
so you can out experience them by playing a deck that you're most comfortable in the meta. And as we always talk about, like, I mean, I think this is why, at least I am, I know you were for a while, Andy, is really high on Blurple just being an all around good utility deck, right? It just plays well enough into everything to give you a shot. Again, not the Baja. We understand that's its fatal flaw,
You just dodged
right?
those.
Looking
And you
at you,
just
Ink Geyser. Looking at you, Ink Geyser. Get out of here.
So yeah. Uh, uh, yeah, I'm a little surprised we didn't see. I think that was the thing I was most surprised is we didn't see a lot of Aha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Just
surprised
the
that there
one.
was only one Baja. Normally, we usually at least have like a handful, like 2 to 4. Never usually just like one. I also very much expected there to be way more dogs than there were, and less Blurple, maybe a little more or Amethyst Steel, but surprisingly, a couple more people than I thought were also playing Amber Steel. So
Yeah. So we got Set Champs coming up again this weekend. Weekend number 2 of Winterspell Set Champs. We running it back, Kirsten. We running
running it back.
Okay.
We're gonna take it back until we can take it home.
Andy, what are we thinking?
All right.
He doesn't
So
know.
it's almost certainly going to be Blurple or Dogs or Baja or Ruby Amber Boosties or Amber Amethyst mid range. Probably not Amethyst Steel. kind of fallen out of love with Amethyst Steel.
Should try Amber Steel.
Amber Steel is a trash deck. I don't know.
Wow.
It's just not for me. I don't like it as much. Amber
I suspect Blurple is what you'll end up with.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's my preferred. I got a lot of Chanties in my Blurple deck. It makes me feel fancy. But yeah, we'll have to see. I usually bring a couple decks, and then take a look
Pick
at
at
the
the last
room.
minute.
Just like smell and see if I can smell any particular ink color more than the other, because they have their own smell. I'm just saying,
Right.
like
I thought,
watch,
was it
ready?
smell or was it taste?
Amethyst.
If they had a
Well,
like a
it tastes amethyst too as well. They have a taste, but I'm not walking around licking everyone's deck before the tournament, right? I just
I
get
feel
a
like that's a
waft.
great way to get sick. Don't do that. Do
Yeah,
not.
Like
don't do that.
open the door and you walk in the LGS and you're like, smell dogs. this, this is an amethyst steel day for sure.
Anyway, we're only doing one this weekend though. Sadly / fun.
We're doing
Funly?
Disney trivia. We
Yeah,
chose to do
because
Disney
on
trivia.
Sunday we're
Fun.
doing Disney trivia instead.
Were you doing Disney trivia?
There's a brewery near us that's doing trivia.
Ooh, what if
We've
we
done it. We did it before a couple months ago with Lucas and some of his friends,
Uh-huh.
and we got like third.
we were the fourth best team. We technically got third because there was a tie for, so it was first, third, fourth is what we got. But we ended up getting the third place prize. It doesn't matter. I was really mad I got one wrong about Jet Jackson. But we're gonna come back with a vengeance, and we're coming for that number one slot. I wonder if we could live. I wonder if you can go live on the ROV, like Instagram and TikTok, and then like chat can tell you the answers. Like, is that against the rules if you're like
That's
live
against the
streaming with your chat?
Anyway, so
Is it
yeah,
like
we're only doing one set.
how is that bar? Does it work like as a buzzer? You buzz, or do you like have paper and you
Yeah,
write
yeah,
down?
you
Paper,
just
paper.
have paper and you write it down, and then they come and they check off your answers and they give you points and yeah.
So
So
like
it's
10
a
questions
category.
around. Yeah, 10 questions around. We answer them all, and we can get sometimes just bonus points and stuff. It's a lot of fun. We'll maybe we'll take some pictures and post them on the socials of the questions.
We'll have to do an ROV team. That's
We
what
got to
should-
do an ROV team. It's over here in Illinois, though.
I mean, there's car. They make these things called vehicle trans. One place to another. Just throwing it out there. Like,
But yeah,
Well, we'll need to
I'd be down.
arrange for a bigger table. I think we're only reserved for 8.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably doing Blurple this week.
Fair enough.
That's what I'm most comfortable
How many
with.
chances you
Alright.
got in your Blurple?
None. I don't ever play with my
Wow.
my
Wow.
enchants live in the binder, and then I take
So
them
lame.
out at night, and I'm like, I
So
open this
basic.
binder.
You're a
And I'm
basic
like,
Stitch.
My precious. My precious. I can't buy a house, but I can buy enchants.
If I all the enchanted.
You got this one, Vince?
I don't. And don't remind me how wrong I was that I thought the Elsa was going to be.
That make you be worth nothing. Elsa's gonna like be worth twice the price in just like a couple months. Don't you worry.
It was going to be worth nothing. I just didn't think it was going to be as expensive as it is.
And I told Vince, I looked at him in the eyes, I said, this is buying my kid's college fund. This is sending my kid to college. That's this Mickey to the moon.
Yeah, I don't think Buster's going to school anytime soon. So I think you're going to keep that in here.
He's not allowed to go off to college. He's a mama's.
Yeah.
Let's get to
Villain of the week.
do you want to read the card?
Yeah, because you're only making me do this so that you don't have to try and pronounce it.
You're 100% right. 100% right.
I think I might have given it away, but it is the 3-cost uninkable song, Akood've. You pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn, and you can draw a card. And the art is by Augie Christensen. Shoot.
You gonna read the
I got
flavor
the-
text?
I am not even going to attempt that. You can attempt that if you'd like. But I think that we've done one of his other cards recently.
I think
Augie.
I
last
feel like
week,
I
actually.
feel like I had to read his card before, and I had to try and pronounce his last name.
We did Angel
Angel.
when we did Angel.
Big
Yep,
Angel.
and I'm pretty
2-cost
sure
angel.
I did that one.
He does all the angels apparently. A lot of
That's
puppies.
right. That was one of the fun facts. He literally does all the angels. He does 2-cost, 4-cost, and Akood've.
Yep, and he did the Vixie and Todd.
Yeah, that's right.
He does a lot of good, these cute little.
No Enchanteds though, kind of wild.
No Enchanted, yeah, but he's got a ton of the cute cards.
You know it's coming though.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
All right.
it's definitely one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite cards as of lately. Unless I get 3 of them in my opening hand after mulliganing, and then I want to throw the card in the trash.
Yeah, that was a little rough. And yeah, I think you even drew into your 4th one.
I did. Yeah, it was a good time. That's what I get for keeping 1.
So, but I think my understanding is like this is just such a great card to be able to cheat out more expensive cards. And it also replaces itself. What more like? Not only can you cheat out cards, so you don't have to have as much ink in your inkwell. I think one of the ringing things I saw in that tournament was really, Amber Steel getting up to like 3-4 ink maximum.
Yeah.
Not really trying to push anything past that, because basically with a combination of this, with a combination of Grandma, or was it Willow?
Yep.
Grandmother Willow.
Grandmother Willow, thank you. There it is. You can really get everything you want out just quite nicely, and everything. A lot of cards in that deck are also pretty.
And 2 Angel, pretty darn good.
Turn 2 Angel on turn 1 because you're going second is real nice.
Well, no, you play the 2-drop Angel on 1, and then on turn 2 you ink, you swing a Akood've, and you play the big Angel, and you snowball their Grandmother Willow.
Yep.
And that's how you beat dogs. How come you drew 4 Akood'ves instead of that play line that I just said when you were?
I don't think I ever saw a single Angel in those matches, and that was rough.
Yeah,
that's rough.
But
Akood've is basically better just in time, in my opinion. Like, just in time is 5 cost or less for free. So like you have the flexibility of using this earlier. It doesn't get you 5 inks worth of stuff, but does
sometimes can if you got more than one grandma.
Gets you that extra 2. Yeah, but by itself it gets 2 ink off. It's pretty nice.
But this is singable. This is a song.
Right. So yeah, it has its ups and downs.
I wasn't sure if Just in Time was a song or not.
It's an action, and it draws a card though. Akood've draws a card, so
draws a card.
Yeah,
itself singable.
I'm happy about that.
I was even playing this in my Steel Song Infinity list that I got 5th at.
That's not bad.
At Infinity, because it's just such a nice little song to like cheat out any character. It doesn't really matter what character, to be honest. Like,
obviously, the biggest downside, I think, as you said, is it's
uninkable,
and it can brick your hand.
Yeah.
But
anything else we want to say about this card?
Oh, good, cute card.
Cute.
Give me a promo.
Probably coming. Let us know your thoughts on Villainy. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you're joining us on audio, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, which if you're not, you really should. We got a lot of fun over here. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, ring that bell, and you'll be notified of all of our future content.
And we understand your time is valuable, so we appreciate you spending some of it with us. If you would like to follow along as we plot our devious plans, you can find us on all of the socials at Rules of Villainy. We also have a growing community on Discord, which you can join with the link below, because I want to see your pets.
Yes.
Show me the pets.
And happy birthday to my boy Cass. Just turned 4.
Happy birthday!
And until next week, stay safe, fellow villains. Be wary of those wannabe heroes who are lurking in the corners and want to disrupt your villainous plans. And as always, remember the rules of villainy.